So today we're going to do a more restful practice, which actually is probably a good idea considering yesterday was the full moon that was also lunar eclipse. And so I think the energy probably was much more intense. So we can call this the post full moon class, or we can call it the post second COVID vaccine class. And we'll just see how we go. I like to use lots of props when I do restorative yoga, but I will show you just variations we can do as we go through this class. So enjoy. So if you have a stool, or in my case, I have a yoga chair, but you can use anything that helps to elevate your feet. Like I have this bench, I have a cushion. So there's many, many ways that, you can just simply use a pillow. But if we begin just with the legs a little bit elevated, and I guess I can show you how it might be on the bench. So it might be like this on the bench, like the feet on the bench and just the knees bent. Or you can just use the bench to support the backs of your legs. That could also be, just be aware that you don't want your feet to fall asleep too much. So I'll show it with my chair, but again, you can modify it. You can use whatever furniture you have at home. So we'll just start. So when we have the knees resting, especially up like this, it's like this big bone can just rest into the thigh sockets. So it can just really you can imagine like a waterfall pooling here. And then something nice to soften through the shoulders is just folding the arms over, which is it is a position called constructive rest. Usually constructive rest has the feet bent on the floor like this, and you can often belt the legs if they feel like they're going to flop open. But we're going to do this modification. But if you only don't have any props, you can put the feet on the floor. So if you fold your arms over, and you might have to adjust them, where the elbows are, just to let gravity support the softness between the shoulder blades. So, and then let the breath be soft. You can have your eyes open or closed. So the two things you can focus on is breathing into the space between the shoulder blades and breathing into that thigh socket where the femur bones just soften into the thigh socket. And this is something you can do anytime throughout the day if you need a little bit of a rest. And I think of this as a pose that when I used to travel a bit was a nice way for me to rest in the airport. So instead of sitting on a chair, I would rest my feet and legs on the chair. So see if you can really soften those shoulder blades. Soften. And spread the back onto the floor. And then release your arms for a moment. And we're going to do a little breath practice where, see if when you inhale, you can really feel the spreading through the rib cage. And as you exhale, it encloses in towards the spine. So when you inhale, the rib cage spreads wide open. When you exhale, it encloses around the spine. And then see if you can feel length in your breath. So when you inhale, you lengthen through the head and the tail. And if you can't feel it, you just imagine it. See if you can feel when you inhale, tail and the top of the head lengthen away. You can often put your hands down there to give you a little tug on the hair. And when you exhale, it all shortens into the center. And when you inhale, it lengthens. Exhale, it shortens. And then see if you can feel the front and back of your body. And you can put a hand on the front body or a hand on the front and the back body. So that when you inhale, everything bulges into the back and into the front. And when you exhale, it all hollows into the center. When you inhale, it bulges. And when you exhale, it hollows to the center. See if you can put all those together and imagine it's like a balloon. So when you inhale, you really lengthen, spread, bulge. And when you exhale, you narrow and hollow and shorten. Everything comes back to the center. Few more rounds, feeling like you're filling up the balloon with air, and it softens into the center. And then slowly bend your right knee in. Just, you can, keep the other leg onto the chair. Or you can bring the foot down to the floor with the knee in. You want a little bit more action. You can straighten the bottom leg. In my case, it's the left leg. And try to bring the knee towards the shoulder and not into the rib cage. And then bring that foot down. Interlock the fingers with the other knee. You're bringing it towards the shoulder. And you can straighten the opposite leg if you want a little more action, or you can just keep that foot soft into the floor. And then, if you can hold hands around both legs, or you can just put your hands on your shin. Pull both legs down. And then slowly release. And with the feet down on the floor, just going to put your arms out to the side and just start to windshield wiper the knees. So it's like a windshield wiper. So you can do both together for a few breaths. Or you can do one, bring up the other, drop one, drop the other. So this is not very effortful. It's just starting to get a nice movement into the lower back. Do it a couple of different ways. So you can drop one knee and then the other, lift the first knee, then lift the other knee, drop the knee closest to the floor, then drop the other knee, lift the knee up, and drop that knee. And then extend the legs long and the arms like into that X position. So we did this recently where you're just gonna flex the knee and the head towards each other so that your head naturally rolls. So this isn't a lot of efforting, like bringing the knee and the head. It's really using that breath to feel the length from your head, tail, and your feet and your hands. And then you just slowly, without much effort, bring the knee and the elbow towards each other, letting the head come to the side. And then you extend it out and come to the other side. And lengthen. So one side begins to contract, a little bit of muscle action, while the other side lengthens. And then the other side connects in. The head is just naturally following. And what's nice about this is you're just letting gravity get a little stretch through that neck. So it's like you're following that bent elbow. And then just start to fold that left side in, and then you fold in the other side. And you're in that head-tail curve, resting on your side. And then you're going to lengthen the top side, and that's going to bring you back out into that X. We'll do a couple of these. So it's some easeful movement. So you bend the right knee, right elbow, the head comes, and then you fold in the other side. So your line on that C curve. Extend that side again, back into your X. We'll do it twice more on each side. So you fold one side in and allow that to then bring the other side in. So you're in that nice little C curve. And then you open up the top arm and leg and allow it to roll you back to the X. And then you bring the elbow and knee on the other side, the head follows, and the opposite side follows. So opening that side and coming back. And then as you bend and bring that elbow in, see if you can take the front hand and just slowly come up. So your head is the last thing to come up. So you're not, rushing through the spine, that you're allowing the head to come up so you don't get dizzy or if you've got some tension in the neck. And then come over to all fours if you can, and we'll do just a bit of rotation through the hips here, allowing the spine to be part of it. And depending on how you feel, you can make the circles small, or you can allow them to be a little bit bigger. So you're just allowing that movement to come into the spine, into the side body. And then go the other direction. And make it as big or as small as your body feels today. And then tuck your toes under and walk the hands forward. And you can bring down your forehead if you can do that, for a nice shoulder stretch, but also stretching through the heels and the instep and through the back of the body, through the hips, through the sit bones. Hands are coming up, so you can get another different stretch through the shoulders. Inhale, come up. You've got your hands. Really spread each of those hands, and just depending on how you're feeling, you can do little small cat and dog, so it doesn't have to be full tilts. You can just do a little bit of head and tail towards each other in one direction, and a little head and tail into the other direction. Or if you're feeling okay, you can really round into that head and tail. And you can stay there for a couple of breaths if you like. And then when an inhale comes, you come to the other side. Exhale, rounding the spine. And inhale. So do the range that works for you. And come into neutral spine. Bring the big toes together, knees wide. Walk the hands forward and really bring those sit bones back. Now I'm okay to keep my arms forward. If you need to rest the forearms down, you can, and you can put the forehead on the floor. For me, I'm going to maintain the discipline of really working my arms here. But you, of course, can place those forearms down and the head down on the floor. And then press the arms up so you've got a little action. And then walk them over to the left side. And then see if you can really press through the hands and lengthen the spine over. But you're not twisting, you're trying to bring the belly onto the thigh so both sides are even. And then you can put the head on the floor if you can reach there. If not, you can always stack the fists here. So the idea is just like we're hanging off to one side here. And slowly walk the hands back through the center. Just feel that length for a couple of breaths. Slowly walk the hands to the other side, which for me is my right side. You can press the hands down, pull through, place the forehead down. That works for you. Or you can stack the fists and put the forehead on the fists. And walk the hands back through the center. And again, you can choose to be more active, like I am with my arms, or you can just put the forehead down and place the forearms down. And again, inhale, come up to all fours. Just have a couple of breaths here in neutral in case you need to really, orient yourself, especially if you're not feeling too well. And then you could tuck the toes for a downward dog, but just see how you go. You may just want to have a softer dog with a little bit of bent knees. It's still a good idea to try to straighten the arms so that the shoulders and the hands are connected. See if you can find the length of the neck. And again, bring the knees down to big toes together, knees wide. And inhale onto all fours again. One more downward facing dog. And bring the knees down, big toes together, knees wide. And again, you can always stack the hands here and support the head and the neck. And then if you have, I'll show you this pose with a bolster, but you might just have a blanket. It's nice to have a little bit of height for this pose. So if you have a blanket, you might want to fold it to make it thicker, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring the pelvis. So you open the feet so that it's like a frog pose. And you just put your head on your arms. So you get to release anything in the lower back here. This is such a nice pose. So that's how you do it with a bolster. If you needed a folded blanket, you just make it thicker so you've got a little bit more space. Put your pelvis on it. But this really allows you to breathe into that whole back body with some support in your hips, and also with some length in the abdominal area where you're not squishing the belly. And slowly come up. If you have a blanket, it's nice to have two blankets if you can do it on the blanket. I'll show you on the bolster. You're going to bend your knees off to one side so it's like a twist. You know, the twist we usually do on our back, and this time we're doing it face down. And I'm supporting my head here. My elbows straddle the bolster. And again, I'm getting nice length in my lower spine. If you had towels or blankets, it's nice if you had two blankets so they can be long like this. And then you can do the same pose. So I'm keeping the neck in neutral and just bending the knees to the side. And slowly change sides. So what's the best way? I guess you come up to your knees, you bring them to the other side, bring the forehead down. Trying to keep the knees and the ankles stacked. And slowly come up. And this is where it's nice to have two blankets or two towels or bolsters. And we'll come into Happy Baby, where I have one blanket under my hips and my head is on the other blanket. And I'm holding my outer feet. And if you have, you can do this straight on the mat, but if you have the elevation, it just gives you more of a curved spine. And I'll show you with my two little cushions, same pose. So why it's nice to have a lot of cool cushions around your house. Yeah, that's very comfortable. So that means that your chin can go towards, your chest can come towards your chin. No, your chin can come towards, I don't know. Anyway, your chin and your chest have a nice curve here. And you're bringing the knees down to the floor, and it's just being gentle. And then slowly release the legs. And you can, if you have your wall, you can go into feet up the wall pose. Like from here, I could just take the pillow away from my hands and just come into feet up the wall, or bring my bench back and have my feet on them or my legs on them, or bring my chair back, or just go into some kind of comfortable shavasana. And then whatever position you're in, begin to soften the breath, and then see if you can feel toes in your left foot, softening the toes in your left foot, softening the instep, top of the foot, ankle, heel, softening your left ankle, your left shin, your left calf, your left knee, your left thigh, and your left thigh socket. So your whole left leg is relaxed. And then see if you can feel into your left fingertips, your left palm, your left back of the hand, your left wrist, your left forearm, your left elbow, your left upper arm, and your left shoulder. See if you can feel your arm relaxing from the fingertips all the way into the shoulder. And then see if you can imagine the whole left side behind your rib cage, your shoulder blade, your pelvic girdle just softening. So now your whole left side of your body is relaxed. And then see if you can feel your right toes in the right foot and softening the right ball of the foot, the instep, top of the foot, ankle, heel, shin, the calf muscle, the right knee, the right thigh, all the way into the right thigh socket. So your whole right leg from your toes up into your thigh socket is relaxed. And your right fingers, your right hand, your palm, your back of the hand, your right wrist, your right forearm, your right elbow, your right upper arm, right shoulder. So your whole right arm from your fingers into your shoulder is relaxed. See if you can feel the back of your body in your right shoulder blade, your right rib cage, your right side of your pelvic girdle. See if you can feel your whole right side now is relaxed. Your collarbone notches soften. Your throat softens. Back of the neck softens and lengthens. Base of the head is softening. Your scalp softens. Your forehead widens and softens. Your temples are softening. Space between the eyebrows is softening. Your eyeballs rest into your eye socket. Your cheeks are softening. Your jaw softens. Your chin is softening. And the tongue rests into the lower palate. So your whole neck, throat, head, and face are relaxed. And then slowly deepen your breath, bringing a little bit of movement to your fingers and toes. And then you can slowly stretch the body so you can roll to your right side. And in your own time, you can come up to sitting. And I'll read that Eric Carle quote again. He says, "Simplify, slow down, be kind, and don't forget to have art in your life. Music, paintings, theater, dance, and sunsets." Thank you for being here, and namaste.